I didn't think anyone who mattered would see it. That's what I need everyone to understand first. I posted it on a public forum where people rate their partners. One of those anonymous relationship sites where you post photos and strangers vote and comment on compatibility. I thought it was harmless. I thought it was funny. I thought the anonymity protected me from consequences. I was wrong about all of that. The post was simple. A photo of us together from last month. Me looking good in a dress I'd bought specifically for this dinner. Him looking normal. Just normal, the way he always looks, nothing special. And the caption, "Be brutally honest, rate him 1 to 10. I think I already know the answer, but curious what others think, I posted it to a subreddit about relationship ratings. Thousands of people on there doing the same thing, posting photos of their partners or dates and asking for honest ratings. Some people were kind, most were brutal. That was the whole point of the forum. Brutal honesty about attractiveness without social niceties getting in the way. Anonymous truth-telling about who's hot and who's not. The responses came fast, really fast, and they were exactly what I expected. He's maybe a 3 on a good day. You're clearly more attractive. Honest rating, 210. You could do way better. Why are you with him? There's such an obvious gap here. Girl, 110, and that's being generous. What are you doing? He looks like a 1. You look like a 7 or 8. This makes no sense. Exactly what I wanted to hear. Exactly the validation I was seeking. Confirmation from hundreds of strangers that yes, I was dating down. Yes, there was an attractiveness disparity. Yes, I could do better if I tried. The upvotes kept coming. The comments kept validating. I felt seen. I felt confirmed in my assessment. I felt like I'd gotten objective proof of something I'd always known, but never had externally verified. I screenshot some of the best comments, the ones that rated him lowest, the ones that were most shocked I was with him, the ones that validated my superiority most explicitly, saved them in a folder on my phone, went back to read them multiple times that day, let them feed my ego, let them confirm that I was the catch in this relationship, that I was doing him a favor, that he should be grateful someone like me was with someone like him. What I didn't account for was his coworker seeing it, his coworker who apparently browses that same subreddit, who recognized both of us in the photo despite my attempt at anonymity, who screenshot the entire post, my photo, my caption, all the brutal comments rating my boyfriend as a 1 or 2 out of 10, who sent it to my boyfriend, his name is Kieran, with a message that I'd later find out said, "Hey man, not sure if you know about this, but your girlfriend posted this asking strangers to rate you. Thought you should see it." Kieran texted me that evening. We'd been together for 18 months, lived separately but saw each other most days. The kind of relationship where you're comfortable and established but haven't merged lives completely yet. His text was short. "We need to talk tonight, my place." The tone immediately worried me. No context, no explanation, just a summons. But I went, showed up at his apartment expecting maybe he was stressed about work or wanted to discuss relationship stuff or something normal. Not expecting what actually happened. He opened the door. Looked calm. Too calm. That dangerous, terrifying kind of calm, where someone has seen something that fundamentally changed how they see you and they're completely in control of their response instead of being emotional or reactive. That calm that's somehow more frightening than anger would be, because it means they've already processed everything and made decisions, and you're just catching up to consequences they've already determined. He let me in without greeting. No smile, no kiss, no, "Hey, how was your day?" like we'd done 1,000 times before. Just opened the door wider and stepped aside to let me pass. Offered nothing. No water, no invitation to sit down and get comfortable. No small talk to ease into whatever this was. Just stood there in his living room, holding his phone, with an expression I couldn't quite read, but that made my stomach start to hurt with anticipatory dread. "Did you post this?" he asked, turning his phone screen toward me without preamble or explanation. My stomach dropped immediately. Completely, utterly dropped like I was in free fall. It was a screenshot of my post. My exact post from the rating forum. The photo of us together that I'd chosen specifically because I looked good in it. My caption, asking for brutal honesty about his rating. And worse, much worse, it was a full, comprehensive screenshot showing multiple comment chains where strangers had called him ugly, rated him 1 or 2 out of 10, questioned why I was with him, told me I could do so much better, mocked his appearance in detailed and cruel ways. All of it, everything, every cruel comment, every low rating, every bit of validation I'd sought and collected, all captured in one long screenshot and somehow sent to him by someone who'd recognized us, despite my assumption of anonymity. Where did you get that? How did you? A coworker saw it. Someone I work with apparently browses that same subreddit you posted on. Recognized both of us in the photo, even though you didn't use our names. Screenshot the entire post, including all the comments. Sent it to me this afternoon with a message saying he thought I should know my girlfriend was posting me online, asking strangers to rate how ugly I am. So I'm asking you directly right now, did you post this? Did you put our photo on a public forum asking thousands of strangers to rate me on attractiveness? Did you specifically request brutal honesty about how I look? Did you seek confirmation from the internet that I'm ugly and you could do better? It was supposed to be anonymous. It wasn't supposed to... Did you post it? Yes or no? I need you to say it explicitly. Yes, I posted it, but it was just for fun. Just curiosity about what objective strangers would say without knowing us or having bias. It didn't mean anything serious. It wasn't meant to hurt you. Everyone does stuff like that online. It's just how those forums work. Everyone does not do stuff like that. Everyone does not post photos of their partner on public forums, specifically asking strangers to rate them on a numerical scale of attractiveness. Everyone does not seek validation from thousands of internet strangers that their boyfriend is ugly. Everyone does not request brutal honesty about their partner's appearance from people who have zero social obligation to be kind. Everyone does not do that. But you did. You specifically did all of that. You took a photo of us, uploaded it publicly, asked for brutal rating, and waited for responses confirming I'm unattractive. How do you know How do I know you what? How do I know you saved the responses? How do I know you screenshot the comments that rated me lowest? How do I know you collected the ones that were most brutal and most validating of your perspective? How do you know I screenshot them? Because I know you. Because I've been with you for 18 months, and I understand how you think. Because I know you well enough to know that if you went to the trouble and effort of posting this publicly and asking for ratings, you absolutely saved the responses that validated exactly what you wanted to hear. You saved proof that you're more attractive than me. You collected evidence that you could do better. Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong. I wasn't fast enough to lie convincingly. Wasn't fast enough to say yes, he was wrong. Wasn't fast enough to deny it with any credibility. The pause, that several-second pause where I tried to figure out if lying was worth it, gave me away completely. He saw the truth on my face before I could construct a denial. Saw that he was right about the screenshots. Right about me collecting evidence. Right about everything. Show me your phone, he said. Not asking gently, not requesting politely. Telling, demanding. Right now, show me what you saved. What? No, that's private. You can't just... Show me your phone right now, or this conversation ends immediately with me never speaking to you again. Those are your options. Show me what you saved from that post, or leave right now, and we're done without any further discussion or explanation. Your choice. Decide now. The ultimatum was crystal clear. Final. No negotiation possible. I could show him and face whatever consequences came from him seeing exactly what I'd collected, or I could refuse and lose him immediately without any chance to explain or apologize or try to salvage this. Neither option was good, but at least the first gave me a chance. I pulled out my phone with shaking hands, unlocked it, navigated to my photos, found the folder I'd created specifically for this, titled innocuously as MISC, so no one would accidentally open it, showed him the contents, the screenshots, all of them, every single comment I'd saved, all the ratings that called him 1 or 2 out of 10, all the brutal assessments of his appearance, all the stranger validation that I was too good for him, all the confirmation that he was ugly and I could do better. 15 screenshots total. 15 pieces of evidence that I'd carefully collected and preserved. He took my phone from my hand, scrolled through them slowly, methodically, reading each one completely, taking in every cruel word that strangers had written about his appearance at my specific invitation and request, reading comments that called him ugly, unfortunate-looking, punching above his weight, lucky to have me, not good enough for me. Reading ratings that put him at 1 or 2 while putting me at 7 or 8. Reading strangers telling me to leave him and find someone better. Reading it all while his expression remained perfectly, terrifyingly calm and neutral. When he finished, after what felt like an eternity of watching him absorb proof of my cruelty, he handed my phone back to me without a word. Just gave it back and stood there looking at me with an expression I couldn't read, but that made me feel smaller and more ashamed than I'd ever felt in my life. 18 months, he finally said. Voice still even, still controlled, no yelling, no obvious anger, just devastating calm. 18 months we've been together, a year and a half, and apparently the whole time, this entire time, this is how you saw me. As someone so unattractive that you needed the internet to confirm it for you. As someone worthy of being rated a 1 out of 10. As someone you're embarrassed to be with. As someone you're settling for. As someone beneath you. As someone you needed thousands of strangers to validate your superiority over. That's not true. That's exactly true. You posted our photo publicly on a forum specifically designed for brutal honesty about attractiveness. You asked strangers, thousands of them, to rate me on a numerical scale. You specifically requested they be brutally honest, which means you wanted them to be cruel if that's what honesty required. You saved 15 separate comments that called me ugly in various ways. You collected proof that you could do better than me. That's not curiosity. That's not innocent fun. That's cruelty. That's you seeking massive external validation for something you already believe deep down. That I'm not good enough for you. That you're too attractive to be with me. That there's a huge gap between us and you're on the superior side of it. I don't think that. I love you. I want to be with you. I chose to be with you. One stupid post doesn't change 18 months of relationship. Doesn't erase everything we've built together. Doesn't mean I don't value you or care about you or want to be with you. But it does change everything. Because now I know. Now I have permanent knowledge that when you look at me, you see someone rated 1 out of 10. Now I know you're so bothered by my appearance that you need strangers to confirm your negative assessment. Now I know you collect evidence, screenshot and save it in a folder, that you're settling for someone beneath your standards. That changes everything for me. That fundamentally changes how I see you. That changes how I see us. That changes how I see myself in this relationship. That changes whether I want to be with you at all. Osanan account session has hami tinkiki san inq. He didn't break up with me immediately. That might have been easier actually. A clean break, anger and ending. Instead, he said he needed time to think, needed to process what I'd done and what it meant, needed to decide if this was forgivable or relationship ending. Told me to leave and that he'd contact me when he'd made his decision. 3 days of nothing. 3 days of no texts, no calls, no contact, just silence while he decided whether my publicly rating him 110 was something he could move past or something that ended us. I tried texting apologies, long messages explaining it was just insecurity, just wanting validation, just curiosity gone wrong, trying to frame it as anything other than what it was, me thinking I was too good for him and needing the internet to confirm it. He didn't respond to any of them, just let them sit there unread or read and ignored. On day 4, he finally replied with a brief text. "I've made my decision. Come to my place tonight at 7. Be on time." That was it. No indication whatsoever of what the decision was. Just an appointment time stated like I was a business meeting or a dentist visit instead of someone he'd spent 18 months building a life with. Someone he'd introduced to his entire family. Someone who'd met all his friends. Someone he'd talked about future plans with. Moving in together, maybe getting engaged next year, building something lasting. Someone he'd claimed to love before I destroyed it by posting him online for thousands of strangers to mock and rate as a 1. I showed up at 7 exactly. Actually arrived 5 minutes early and sat in my car until it was precisely 7 because I didn't want to be early and seem desperate, but also, absolutely, could not be late and give him another reason to be angry. Knocked on his door at 7 or on the dot. Waited what felt like forever, but was probably only 30 seconds. He opened the door and stepped aside to let me in, without any greeting or acknowledgement beyond a nod. His apartment felt different the moment I walked in. Colder somehow. More formal. Less like a place I'd spent countless comfortable nights, and more like a space I was visiting for the first time. Like I was a stranger, instead of someone who knew where he kept the extra towels, and which drawer had the takeout menus, and how he liked his coffee in the morning. "I've spent 3 full days thinking about what you did," Kieran started once we were both sitting in his living room. Same couch where we'd watched entire series together and talked through our problems and been genuinely happy. Now it felt like a courtroom or an interrogation room, formal, heavy, final. "About you posting our photo publicly on that rating forum, asking strangers to brutally evaluate my attractiveness. About you collecting and saving comments that called me a 1 or 2 out of 10. About you seeking and receiving validation from thousands of people that you're too good for me. About what all of that reveals about how you actually see me and how you actually see our relationship. And I've realized something really important during all this thinking. I've realized that I can't unknow this information now. I can't go back to before I knew. You think I'm so profoundly unattractive that you need external validation from strangers about it. That knowledge is permanent. It's in my head forever. It's changed how I see everything about us. And I can't live with it. It was a mistake, a huge, terrible, thoughtless mistake, born out of insecurity and shallowness. I wasn't thinking about how it would hurt you or affect you. I was just being selfish and stupid and cruel, without even fully realizing how cruel I was being. I'm so sorry. I'm genuinely, deeply sorry. You were being honest. That's what that forum is specifically designed for. Brutal honesty without social niceties or politeness getting in the way. You were asking for honest, unfiltered assessment, and you got exactly that. People called me ugly, rated me 1 or 2 out of 10, said you could and should do better, questioned why you're with me at all, said I'm lucky someone like you would settle for someone like me. And you saved those comments. You collected them carefully. You created a folder to keep them organized. You agreed with them fundamentally. That's honesty revealing itself. That's your real perspective that you normally keep hidden, out of social obligation, but that came out when you had anonymous cover. I don't really think you're a 1 out of 10. That's not actually how I see you. Those numbers are meaningless. They're just, maybe not literally a 1. Maybe in your private assessment I'm a 3 or 4 or even a 5. Maybe the specific number varies depending on your mood or the day or whatever. But the core truth underneath it all is the same regardless of the exact number. You think there's a massive, significant attractiveness gap between us, and you're confidently on the better side of it. You think you're settling for someone beneath your standards. You think I should be grateful that someone as attractive as you is with someone as unattractive as me. And now I know that with absolute certainty. I have proof of it. I saw it with my own eyes in those screenshots you saved, and I can't unknow it. That knowledge has fundamentally changed everything, and I've decided I won't live with it. I won't stay in a relationship where I have permanent knowledge that my partner thinks I'm ugly. So you're breaking up with me. You're ending our 1.5-year relationship. I'm breaking up with you because you publicly humiliated me in a profound way. Because you asked thousands of strangers to rate my attractiveness, and they called me a 1. Because you saved proof, 15 separate screenshots, that I'm ugly and you're settling. Because you showed me beyond any doubt that you see this relationship as you doing me an enormous favor instead of us being equals who both benefit. And I deserve so much better than that. I deserve someone who doesn't think they're settling by being with me. I deserve someone who doesn't need the internet to confirm that their boyfriend is unattractive. I deserve someone who actually values me as I am, instead of constantly comparing me to some imaginary standard I don't meet. I deserve equality and respect, and you weren't giving me either of those things. Kieran, please, I'm begging you. I'm so sorry. I'll delete the post completely. It's actually still up. I can delete it right now in front of you. I'll delete all the screenshots from my phone. I'll never do anything remotely like that again. I'll spend the rest of our relationship proving to you that I value you. Please don't throw away 18 months over one terrible mistake. Please give me a chance to be better, to do better, to show you that I can change and learn from this. It's not one mistake. It's a revelation of your true perspective. It's you showing me how you really see me when you think I won't find out. It's you demonstrating that you think I'm so far beneath you attractiveness-wise that you need objective confirmation from strangers. And that's not something I can forgive. That's not something we can move past together. That's not something that gets better with time or apologies or promises. That's relationship-ending truth that can't be unsaid or undone. You revealed something fundamental about how you see me, and now that I know it, I can't stay. What can I possibly do? What can I say? How can I fix this? Please tell me how to fix this. You can't fix it. You can't unsay what you said. You can't unpost what you posted. You can't undo the humiliation of having thousands of strangers call me ugly at your specific invitation and request. You can't remove the knowledge from my head that you think I'm a 1 out of 10 and you save proof of it. It's permanent damage. And I'm choosing to end this relationship cleanly, rather than stay with someone who sees me as so fundamentally unattractive that they need constant external validation about it. I'm choosing self-respect over a relationship that was apparently never equal. So that's it. We're just completely done. 18 months gone like they never happened. 18 months that I now have to completely recontextualize and reinterpret knowing what I know now. 18 months where apparently you thought you were doing me this huge favor by being with me. 18 months where you saw me as so unattractive that you needed to ask the internet about it. Yes, we're done. Completely and finally done. And you can leave now. And please don't contact me again going forward. Don't try to change my mind with more apologies. Don't ask mutual friends to intervene on your behalf. Don't show up here hoping to talk me out of this decision. My decision is final and non-negotiable. I've thought it through completely. I'm done being someone's ugly boyfriend. I'm done being rated a 1. I'm done being with someone who saves screenshots proving I'm unattractive. He was firm, decided. This wasn't negotiable. This wasn't him being emotional or reactive. This was him having spent 3 days thinking it through carefully and arriving at a clear conclusion that my public rating of him was unforgivable and relationship ending. That he valued himself too much to stay with someone who'd done what I did. I left his apartment understanding with complete clarity that I'd destroyed something genuinely good. Understanding that seeking validation from strangers about my boyfriend's unattractiveness had cost me the entire relationship. Understanding that some actions reveal perspectives that can't be taken back, even with the most sincere apologies. Understanding that he valued himself too much to stay with someone who'd done what I did. Understanding that I deserved to lose him. And our flee and tatsititadio na issue. The next few weeks were absolutely brutal, devastating beyond anything I'd experienced before. I kept checking that post obsessively. It was still up on the forum, still getting new comments daily, still having strangers rate Kieran as a 1 or 2 and tell me I could do better and should leave him. The validation that had felt so intoxicating and affirming when I first posted it now felt hollow and cruel and sick-making. Each new comment felt like another nail in the coffin of what we'd had. Each rating felt like another person confirming I'd destroyed something good for the most superficial, meaningless reason. I finally deleted it after about a week. Deleted the post entirely. Deleted all 15 screenshots from my phone. Deleted the folder I'd created to organize them. Tried desperately to erase the evidence of what I'd done, but it didn't matter at all. The damage was permanent and complete. Kieran had seen it with his own eyes. His coworker had seen it and sent it to him. Thousands of internet strangers had seen it and participated in rating him. And most importantly, Kieran now knew with absolute certainty how I really saw him. No amount of deleting could undo that knowledge. No amount of erasing evidence could change what had been revealed. His social media went quiet about me immediately and completely. Removed all photos of us together, and there had been dozens spanning 18 months. Changed his relationship status from in a relationship to single. Changed his profile photo from one of us together to one of just him. Posted normally about work and hobbies and life, but without any trace whatsoever that I'd ever existed in his world. Meanwhile, mutual friends were asking increasingly direct questions, trying to figure out what happened, why we'd broken up so suddenly after being so solid for so long. And I couldn't tell the truth, couldn't possibly admit I'd posted him online, asking strangers to rate him, and they'd called him a 1, and he'd found out and immediately dumped me. My own social media became complicated. I had photos of us together spanning 18 months, evidence of a relationship that had seemed happy and stable. And now I had to decide what to do with them. Delete them all and look suspicious, leave them up and look pathetic, archive them somewhere. I ended up doing nothing for weeks, just left them up. Left evidence of us everywhere while he systematically erased me. Left myself looking like someone clinging to something that was definitively over. One friend, Sienna, who'd known both of us since we started dating, who'd been happy for us, who'd thought we were good together, finally cornered me about it 2 weeks after the breakup. We were meeting for coffee at a place we'd gone to dozens of times before, and she asked directly, "What happened with you and Kieran? I've asked him and he completely shut me down, just says it's over, and he doesn't want to talk about it, and to please respect his privacy. But you were together for over 18 months. You seemed solid. You seemed happy. What went wrong so suddenly?" I considered lying for probably 30 full seconds. Considered making up some vague story about growing apart gradually, about wanting different things from life, about the relationship running its natural course, about anything other than the truth. But I was exhausted from carrying the secret alone. Exhausted from being the only one who knew exactly how badly I'd messed up. Exhausted from the weight of guilt and shame and regret. So I told her the truth. I posted a photo of us on an online rating forum, one of those subreddits where people post their partners and ask strangers to rate them 1 to 10. I asked for brutal honesty about his attractiveness. Hundreds of people responded calling him a 1 or 2. I screenshot and saved 15 of the worst comments. His coworker saw the post somehow, recognized us, sent it all to him. He broke up with me 3 days later, Wouldn't even consider forgiving me, just ended it completely. Sienna stared at me across the coffee shop table. Complete, stunned silence for probably 15 seconds. Processing, trying to understand what I'd just admitted to. Then, you did what? You posted your boyfriend, someone you claim to love, on a public forum asking thousands of strangers to rate his attractiveness, specifically requesting brutal honesty, and then saved the cruelest responses, and you're somehow surprised he broke up with you immediately. I didn't think anyone we knew would see it. It was supposed to be completely anonymous. It doesn't matter at all if anyone you knew saw it. It matters that you did it in the first place. You still publicly sought confirmation from strangers that he's ugly. You still asked the internet to numerically rate him. You still collected evidence that you could do better. You still treated him like he's a commodity to be evaluated and ranked, rather than a person you supposedly care about. That's not a small mistake or a momentary lapse in judgment. That's a fundamental lack of respect. That's cruelty. That's you treating him like his only value is his appearance, and that appearance isn't good enough for you. I know it was wrong and cruel. I just wanted validation. I wanted confirmation that I'm more attractive. I wanted proof that the gap I perceived was real. And you got exactly what you wanted. You got hundreds of strangers confirming he's a one. You got the validation you were seeking, and it cost you the relationship. And honestly, good for him for leaving immediately. He deserves someone who doesn't think he's a 1 out of 10. He deserves someone who doesn't need strangers to confirm his inadequacy. He deserves someone who values him as a whole person instead of reducing him to a number on an attractiveness scale. Do you think he'll ever forgive me? Ever talk to me again? Ever give me another chance? I genuinely don't know. Maybe eventually he'll forgive you in the sense of not actively hating you or wishing you harm. But forgiveness doesn't mean he'll take you back, or want to be with you again, or even want to be friends. You showed him something about yourself that can't be unseen. You revealed that you see him as fundamentally beneath you. That's permanent knowledge that changes everything. That's not something you can apologize away or promise to do better about. You publicly rated him a 1. That's not forgivable in the sense of going back to how things were. She was completely right, and hearing a friend confirm that I was wrong, that Kieran's reaction was appropriate and justified, that my behavior was indefensible, made everything worse somehow. Made it clear this wasn't him overreacting or being too sensitive. This was me being genuinely cruel and facing entirely appropriate consequences for that cruelty. Another mutual friend, Devon, who was closer to Kieran, texted me a few days after that conversation. Heard what you did. Heard you posted him asking if he's ugly. That's messed up. Really messed up. Don't contact him again. He's doing better without you. The message was short and blunt and clear. Devon had chosen sides, and those sides were not mine. Devon thought I was wrong and cruel, and that Kieran was better off without me. And Devon was probably speaking for most of our mutual friends who would eventually hear some version of what happened. Four months after the breakup, I saw Kieran at a mutual friend's party, inevitable when you share social circles. I'd been dreading it, didn't know if he'd ignore me or confront me, or what would happen when we were in the same room again. He was talking to someone when I arrived, a woman I vaguely recognized from his work stories. They looked comfortable, familiar, the easy body language of people who know each other well. And she was attractive, really attractive, the kind of woman who would never be rated a 1 by anyone. The kind who'd probably be called an 8 or 9 by most people. And they were clearly together, based on how they stood, how they interacted, how they touched casually. I watched them for a few minutes before he noticed me, watched him laugh at something she said, watched her lean into him affectionately, watched them have the easy dynamic we used to have. And I felt it, the jealousy, the regret, the understanding that I'd lost someone good and he'd found someone who actually valued him. He saw me eventually, made eye contact across the room. His expression was neutral, not angry, not hurt, just acknowledgement that I was there. Then he deliberately turned back to the woman he was with and continued their conversation, making it clear through that simple action that I was past, that he'd moved on, that what we had was over and not worth revisiting. The woman noticed the exchange, said something to him, probably asking who I was. He responded briefly. I couldn't hear what he said, but I could imagine. My ex, the one who posted me online, asking if I was a 1 out of 10. She glanced at me then, with what looked like pity mixed with judgment. Then she moved closer to him, claimed him, made it clear he was hers now and valued properly. I left the party early, couldn't handle watching him happy with someone else. Couldn't bear seeing him with someone who clearly didn't think he was a 1, someone who valued him, someone who would never post him online for strangers to mock. Sienna texted later. Saw you left early. That was probably smart. Who was the woman with Kieran? Her name is Morgan. They work together. Been dating for about 2 months. She's really nice. They seem good together. She's beautiful. Yeah, and more importantly, she doesn't post him online asking if he's ugly. So there's that. The dig was intentional, making sure I understood that Kieran had upgraded, that he'd found someone who respected him, that he'd moved on to someone better than me in all the ways that matter.